Okay, I just want to make sure this works, so let me see first. Okay, it looks like it's working. So, um, today I had gone to court. See here. Sorry, I have quite a bad cough still. That's why my voice is a little odd, and I kind of figured standing up's kind of just weird. But anyway, today I had gone to court. This time it was supposed to be about property division. Um, it went really, really quickly, honestly. I'd say no longer than between 5 to 7 minutes long. 1 second. Okay, hopefully my voice is a little bit better now. Um, we really didn't talk about what we would be speaking on when we went. I know that the judge looks over, all of the documentation in advance. If you don't know and you've never been to court in Korea, something that I was actually very shocked about that is quite different, vastly different from divorce court, or any kind of court in the US, is the fact that before we went in, there was two cases before us, and in both cases, the actual parties did not show up. So a lot of the time, I don't know if it's just because they feel, people going through legal battles or people divorcing, they maybe don't want to see the other party, or maybe they just feel they already paid their money's worth. Why should they have to attend? That's the legal aid or the lawyer's job. In that case, for me, if I'm gonna be paying, had as much money that had to be put in and paid to a legal aid or lawyer, I want to be there to make sure that they're doing, the job that I paid them to do. So I could not imagine not showing up. Not only that, just I like to kind of know what's going on with the cases. So yeah, I will be going to all of them. It's just a US thing to me. I could not just send someone to represent me and not know what they're doing. Um, because me and my lawyer actually, I had kind of called him out a bit after, he's a great lawyer. He does great paperwork. But I did call him out after the first time that we had court because I felt that he wasn't being assertive enough. So this time he did do a pretty good job. He wasn't as timid with speaking out when our side wasn't getting enough time to talk. He would kind of intervene and try to speak, and he was being more assertive with questions to the opposing side. So I did appreciate that time, this time, and that's exactly why I don't understand people who just send their lawyer and just let them handle it without checking what they're working on. Now, what I was saying is for those two cases before me, it was literally two lawyers of the parties who showed up. 1 second. Oh my goodness. I had, oh, my voice is still very bad. I don't know if it was COVID, the flu, what I had last week, but I had like cold chills. I was like bed sick last week. It was pretty bad for like 2 days, and I'm fine now, but I have like water or something in my lungs, so I had to go get a bunch of medication for that. And there's a lot of coughing at night when I try to lay down because fluid building up. So taking my medicine, taking care of that. But anyway, so these two lawyers show up, and the lawyers are actively talking to the judge, and they're actively talking to each other as if they were those parties with what wants and outcomes both sides want out of the situation and the divorce. So that was kind of interesting. Now back to my case because those cases are not our business, quite frankly. So today we didn't really actually go over much about property. I know there will be future court cases. Honestly, for my page, that's not quite what's that important. It's mostly concerning my son. So I did make this video mostly just because I didn't want to worry you guys, and I knew that you guys had been expecting an update. Um, so from the way my lawyer explained it, is there will be a pause now with any further court for the divorce, and there will either be we will be called in for investigation where we will talk with the court about our parenting plan, our parenting environment, um, things like that, or there will be actual home investigations where like they'll come out to our homes and see, what each place is like and if it's suitable for a child to be raised there. Sorry, one moment. So if you're curious how that often goes, I've heard that it's not always 100% that they'll do a home investigation, but usually have to at least provide photos of the residents. Um, and then after that process is wrapped up, then we will go back to court and start however many court dates it takes for the proceedings. Um, the only thing that really came up today was about, my daughter's property that was, still at the shared apartment when everything started. Um, that was really the main thing that we had spoken about because it was, gotten rid of without permission. Other than that, we didn't really go over anything. So these things, now I understand why these things take months and months and months because you only get a couple minutes and then it's piece by piece by piece. As for visitations with my son, I had opted for yesterday, this past Monday, to go and do the pre-interview for the court parenting or visiting rooms. And apparently both I and the other party have to both have the interview at the same day. Otherwise, we can't start the parenting meetings. And I'm not putting the other party down. I don't know. They may have had a previous engagement. Not quite sure. But Monday did not work for them. So the next available date, being that the 30th would be like a holiday, would be the 7th. So now I have to wait on the 7th. That will be when the interview date would take place for both myself and the other party. And then from what I understand, that would be when we would set up a plan for bi-weekly parenting meetings. They're not really, I would not at all call them visitations. They are parenting meetings. They have two child psychologists present, as well as both parents. I'm not exactly sure what parenting meetings mean, if they're teaching you how to interact with the child without conflict between each other. I do see some where there would be some need for it going through a divorce, especially someone who was going through it the first time. I could see that. Like, I appreciate the fact that those things exist, but for a mom who has been separated from against my will and not able to see my son in over half a year, about half a year, it just feels kind of a bit of a slap in the face to not be able to, at least bring him home bi-weekly or once a month and just get to spend like really that one-on-one parenting time with him. So I'll do whatever, the court sees fit to be able to see my son, whatever hoops need to be jumped through. I am fully supportive of that. I just want to see him. I just want to know he's doing well. So at this point, me and my lawyer, like, we'll take it. We really just want to be able to see him and make sure he's, we don't even know what he looks like currently in the most recent month or two, couple months actually. So I'm okay with it. I've come to terms with it. The what's I'm not quite sure how many of them I have to go to before I can bring him home, and I'm not quite sure how many of them I have to go to with the other party present before it can just be me and my son in one-on-one time. I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to bring like a toy for him. I got a couple toys that are age appropriate for him, that would be at his developmental stage, as well as some clothing. I'm not sure about that, but at least I'll get to see him. So I just kind of wanted to update you guys. I'm doing fine. This is about to clock out. My daughters are doing fine. They do mention almost every other day, if not daily, that they miss him. But we are doing fine. We are just really just kind of hoping this starts to wrap up soon. So that's an update on